Welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS Soaps, both the Young and the Restless, and the Bold and the Beautiful. This is your Young and the Restless recap for September 7th, and look like Billy is enraged over Adam. It looks like Chloe is also obsessed with hating Adam. Chelsea is once again pissed off at Adam. And Sally is still confused about Adam. So before we unpack all of this, let's just take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And please don't forget to like and share. So first we're over at Crimson Lights. And we got Jack and Billy having a conversation. Now Jack is trying to steer Billy away from the whole talk of his decision to hire Adam. Now after Jack gets updates on Billy stepping away from the podcast and focusing on his COO role, he points out that Billy isn't well suited for corporate life. Now, Jack is worrying about history repeating itself and, is wondering that if this COO position is really Billy's dream job or not. Now, Billy suggests that being a professional gambler is his dream career since he'll assume that's what Jack want to hear. Now, although Billy acts like he's trying to break the cycle of his past, Jack is noting that Billy himself said that he was restless on the podcast, hence the Young and the Restless. Now, Billy argues about whether Jack has more faith in Adam than his own brother and is resenting this whole armchair psychoanalysis that Jack is trying to do to him. Now, after Jack implies, Billy wouldn't be this angry if none of this was said was true, Billy just gave him the wall of silence. He was pretty much pissed at this point, and he simply walked out on Jack. Now, at Society, Abby is offering Chloe a drink while she's waiting for takeout. Now, Chloe mentions how she hoped Chance and Kevin can work past their tension. And Abby is like, what tension? Yeah, she looked kind of curious and concerned. Now, conversation switched to none other than Adam and how he wreaks havoc on all of his exes, including Chelsea and Sally. Now, Abby, however, she ain't got no sympathy for Sally since she knew what she was getting into and the risk and deserves whatever she gets for sliding into bed with Adam. Speaking of Sally, we're back at the coffee house. Sally catches Chance before he leaves and act like they're kindred spirits since they toed the line of the Newmans. You chose to do that, Sally. Now, Chance won't see it that way, and he contends that he made his decision based on the facts of the Ashland Locke case. Now, Chance, you know you're lying to yourself. You didn't want that smoke from Victor, and you know that he was going to hold that over your head, which is why you decided to judge the case that way. And you had to look your wife in the face as well. So, yeah, you know it's more than just these so-called facts of the Ashland Locke case. And you can tell by his facial reaction, he knows Sally is right. So now we're over at the park. Adam shuts down Chelsea's trip idea to Minnesota with Connor since school is about to start. Now, Chelsea rants about her emotional issues and she acts like she needs this reset. But Adam warns her that Connor is a kid. He's not a life preserver. He's not supposed to save you. And Adam also thinks Chelsea needs therapy instead of just a visit to see her mom. Now, Chelsea gets pissed and talks about how sick she is of Adam talking down to her and ultimately shout that if it wasn't for Connor, she wished she would never had met him. And I'm like, the man was just trying to give you solid advice, but you got offensive because you know what he's saying is true and you just don't want to hear it. So that's why she's stomping off and she's pissed off. And of course, she's going to blame it all on Adam. Meanwhile, while that conversation was ending, Sally was witnessing the end of this argument just before Chelsea stomped off. Now, once Adam explains the Connor situation, Sally surprises him by seeing Chelsea's side on some level. Now, that doesn't make any sense. She's just choosing that side because it's opposite of Adam. That's all this is. You do not want an unhinged, emotionally upheaval type of person around a kid. You got to have stability. That's what Adam is seeing. But for whatever reason, Sally has her biases, and that's why she's acting the way she's acting by taking Chelsea's side. So then we're at the office. Sally, talks to Chloe about this whole tense moment she saw with Adam and Chelsea. And she surprises Chloe because of this sympathy she has for her. Now, after Sally reflects on not having a significant other or family, she guessed she couldn't count herself lucky that she didn't end up screaming in the park that she wished she never met Adam. And I'm like, is anybody just going to look at their own problems? This is your situation. And Sally, you're in this situation because you chose to be. You didn't have to be on the opposite side of Adam. But while all that's going on, Adam is eavesdropping on Sally from outside the Newman Media door. So we're back at society again. And Chelsea sits down at the bar to have some conversation. And she gets a drink because her food isn't ready. And Abby said, hey, have a drink on me. Now, Abby wonders if Chelsea is okay. Why would you give her a drink? Now, Chelsea admits that she isn't and hasn't been okay since Ray died. After Chelsea has this whole emotional outburst about all of the amateur therapists in town, she insists she really needs everybody to just shut up. Now, Chelsea eventually calms down, and she does apologizing for unloading all of this on Abby, since Abby genuinely cares. Now, once Chelsea orders another drink, it becomes pretty obvious to Abby that she's having too many on an empty stomach. And she fears that Chelsea would be offended if she called her a cab. So when Chance comes in, she'll ask Chance to turn on the charm and offer a ride instead. When Chelsea, who's tipsy, sees Chance, she's smiling and tell Abby how he was her personal guru the other day. Now, although Chelsea will initially turn down the ride home, she kind of stumbles a little bit and she decides to accept it after all. Now, Chance steadies Chelsea as they head out to the car, but she'll sobered up by the time they get to the hotel. Now, Chelsea gets assurance that she can be herself and trust Chance, so she appreciates that along this whole ride that they had together. Now, although Chelsea really doesn't think this hotel is her home, Chance suggests that any place can feel like home when you have your kids around. And she picks up that little Connor project that he made for her. Now, Chelsea gives a little grin as she suggests that Chance really is her superhero guru. And he smiles back in his response. So we got to stay tuned because the spoilers do say that Chelsea and Chance's connection can head them into dangerous territory. What else is new when it comes to Chelsea and somebody else's man? But we'll have to stay tuned. Okay, so there you have it, your Young and the Restless recap for Wednesday, September 7th, 2022. Stay tuned for the bold and the beautiful recap also for today. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye.